How's it going, guys? aRenG Live here, and welcome back to another aRenG Extra. And yes, as you can see, that is the reward for summoning Obelisk the Tormentor 100 times. And no, I haven't been going on an Obelisk Tormentor bend, making a whole bunch of decks for him. I found a really interesting farm deck that is used to summon Obelisk multiple times on a Japanese YouTube channel. Maybe you won't be able to search it as easy, so fair enough. I'll go ahead and make this farm video for anybody who's interested. Bam. And here it is. So we got that mat. It's looking pretty nice. You guys know me. I'm always using the Slifer one because I just really like the look of the Slifer mat. But the Obelisk one looks pretty nice. And it might be time for a change. So let's go ahead and go for this one. Now, as for the sleeves, though, all you need for the sleeves is something pretty simple. It's basically you gotta end a game with Obelisk by lowering their life points to 0 with an Obelisk. So that one's easy. But for the mat, you have to summon Obelisk 100 times. Let me go ahead and show you that deck that I use to do that. So what you are looking at is the deck that I've been using. Now, after like using the deck multiple times to try to get the hang of it, I've learned quite a few things about it, and I learned a few things that can be replaced. So, first of all, we are using Draw Sense Light. We got Obelisk in the deck, of course. He's not light, though. He is a divine. So you're not using light to really draw him. One thing is, I'm using the deck pretty much as is, as it's being played on the Japanese YouTube channel. And I don't know. I feel like I never had a need to add Mirage Dragon to my hand. This is because I only played against Taya, who is probably one of the weakest people you can play. You fight her at level 10, and you just kind of wreck. Like, there's nothing she can do about it. Technically, you can replace Mirage Dragon and put in any monster with maybe 1600 or higher attack, along those lines. Because I'm just saying, because Taya does eventually have monsters that are 1500 with the boost that you will give them. So there's that. So that's why we got Mirage Dragon in the deck. Now, if you do replace Draw Sense Light, you can actually replace it with Draw Sense Earth, which I think is a lot more useful, and that's going to let you draw your Gonogo, which we run at 3. Gonogo is the kind of one of the stars of the deck, because you're going to be using this guy's cheeky effect to kind of exploit the summons for Obelisk. You're going to be using this thing in a combination with Gravity Axe Garl, Spike Shield with Chain, and Mystic Box, along with a field spell to pretty much set up a perfect condition where your opponent is going to have Gonogo in defense position. When you attack them, their defense is going to be 40-50. So you're only going to take 50 points of damage. Also, the fact that you give them Gravity Axe Garl makes it to where your opponent cannot switch positions. Now, if you don't have Gaia Power, instead you can run Wasteland. And we also use the card Graceful Tear in combination with Localized Tornado. And we're using Graceful Tear basically to give your opponent Localized Tornado as soon as you can. As soon as you can, because she does have, like, what, 3 spells in the deck. I think they're, like, the equip spells that she never uses. I believe. I'm not sure what she plays. She's never played anything against me. She just sets back row. You're going to be giving her a Localized Tornado with your Graceful Tear. If you, for whatever reason, don't have this card, another card you can run is Gift Exchange. All this is credited to the Japanese YouTube channel. I'll put a link to their video in the description below. This can also be used. You basically, you and your opponent both banish a card. You would banish your Localized Tornado, and then you swap cards during the end phase or whatever. So your opponent's going to get your Localized Tornado, and you get whatever they banished. I've never used this, but I don't know. I'm using this because it gives you just a nice life point boost. If you, for whatever reason, are playing the other method where you're playing this and you draw all 3 Localized Tornado, you failed. Because you will, and at least this way with Graceful Tear, there is no fear of failure there. So at least there's that. Localized Tornado basically put all our stuff back into our decks. This is gonna make us go until turn 50, and the duel is gonna end in a draw. As for the rest of the deck, it's pretty much all just draw power. 3 copies of Good Goblin, 3 copies of Jar of Greed, and I only have 1 copy of Legacy of Yatagarasu because this is a rank PvP ticket. You could run pretty much whatever will get you some free draw power. You could even run another monster if you want, a second copy of this monster you're replacing for this, or you're running. But whatever, that's pretty much that. Let's go ahead and show off the deck in action. We're going up against level 10 Taya. Let's get this game started. We're going first. It's actually pretty well calculated, and that's what you're trying to go. That's the goal right there. You're trying to get that mat, that beautiful mat. It looks like we already have Obelisk on our first turn, and we have double Jar of Greed. So let's go ahead and set these jars. I'm going to go ahead and set Graceful Tear because why not, and we're going to end. Now, I guess Graceful Tear is pretty cool in the situations where you don't have monsters, and at least it gives you an extra 2,000 life point buffer. That's all it really does, to be honest. But yeah, so go ahead and get some free draw power. There we go. All right. No need to graceful tier yet. There's absolutely nothing I want to give Taya right now. So let's draw. Grarl. Okay, we're drawing into the last, not really last turn cards. I'm used to calling it like a last turn engine, but it's more like a mid-turn engine because this is going to last 50 turns. And I usually summon Obelisk by turn 20-ish, more or less, around that time. So you're going to be able to summon Obelisk from about 10 to 15 times per attempt. So, but you have to summon him kind of a few times. So, and this is where the Draw Sense Light comes in. Draw Sense Light is just going to get you your monster, whatever else you have. You can also run Draw Sense Earth, but I'm using Light because I don't have Earth on Kaiba. And I want to see Kaiba for the summoning shenanigans. But let's go ahead and summon Mirage Dragon. And that's pretty much that. You see that localized tornado in my hand? This is going to go to my opponent pretty much ASAP, so let's go ahead and end. I'm at 1,800 life points. They're going to summon all their monsters. I'm going to activate Graceful Tier because they just normal summon. If you chain to them playing and you have your thing to auto, and you chain to them playing a back row, it's going to chain to their end phase. So it doesn't really matter, to be honest. But I'm telling you, I've been doing this for hours. So now they're going to set it, and they're going to wait until they have like two or three cards left in deck before they use it. So now we don't need to attack. We're just going to set that. All we have is last turn cards, to be honest, so we're pretty much all set. Let's go ahead and keep drawing. And this is all it really becomes. You're just drawing until you get all your monsters. You're go no go. So I'm gonna go ahead and summon that bad boy. And no need to battle. Alright. And it's all about establishing a certain board. That's all you're really trying to do, and holy crap, I'm getting a lot of draw power right now. So let's go ahead and put something back. Hold on. I'm going to need this maybe on the last turn. Actually, it doesn't matter if you get a localized tornado at the bottom of the deck. Localized tornado. Screw it, dude. So now I'm going to set both of these, and I'm good. So that means I'm going to have 2 draws and then 3 draws. So that's awesome. So should I use this now? No, I'll wait for the draw. Usually what I like to put back is stuff like maybe that localized tornado, or stuff like Jar Greed and Yatagarasu, all the draw cards. I just put them back because they don't really matter. So I'll put this back in the deck, and let's go ahead and activate this one as well. And there we go. So now we pretty much have everything we need. I'm gonna go ahead and put back you because I want it at the bottom of the deck. Remember, actually it doesn't really matter because remember the other one is the card number 2. So we're going to go ahead and summon this bad boy, and we're going to start doing all our shenanigans right now. So we're going to switch you to defense. The one you switch to defense, you're going to want to give him Gravity Axe Grarl. So where's the defense boy? There he is. I just switched him to defense so I don't confuse it. Activate Gaia Power. If you have Wasteland, go ahead and activate it. The only difference is you take 350 damage instead of 50. That's the only real reason. And in certain situations where you took a beating, maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't want to take that many hits. But let's go ahead and set this. And I think we've already pretty much established what we need. Let's go ahead and Mystic Box. Alright, so now we Mystic Box. We're going to go ahead and destroy. I usually like going for the middle because it makes it easier. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. I just like swinging up. And that's all it really is. So let's go ahead and end. And now their monsters are locked into their positions. I'm going to chain that Spike Shield. Bam, I'm going to give it to their monster. Or my ex-monster. And now we're going to keep drawing. Localized Tornado. I'm going to go ahead and set that maybe. I'm going to summon you. And I'll set this. And we're ready for eventually when we get to summon it. But I think one of those cards next turn is Yatagarasu and then the Localized Tornado. So we don't need to use that yet. Please don't use it until you summon Obelisk, because it could complicate things. I have had a few games where it did get complicated. But for now, everything looks pretty simple, pretty easy. It's turn 19, and I'm getting Obelisk out. That's actually pretty early, so that's awesome. So, and now we got our Obelisk. Look at that beautiful animation. It's a pretty cool animation, but it's still a little bit awkward. I made fun of it in one video, but whatever. So there's Obelisk. He is here. Alright, and there he is. Alright, so now that I got this bad boy out, I can constantly clash him into this Gonogo once I've equipped these 3 cards on him. Spike Shield, Gravity Axe, and Gaia Power. So now you can go ahead and enter battle, crash. No need to activate that yet. 40-50, I take 50 damage. My Obelisk goes face down. So, yes, another thing that I have active by default that you probably should. Before you do all of this, make sure you have your voice lines set off, the character lines. just because it saves you so much time. I swear, dude, it saves you so much time. So now, as you notice, every time you flip Obelisk, you get your little fancy animation thing, meaning it counts as a new summon. And you're basically just going to do that over and over. As you can see, I have no more cards left in deck, so we're going to go ahead and activate Localized Tornado, putting all our stuff back in our deck. Now we have a 13 card deck, meaning probably 13 turns, and we're just going to keep crashing. So if you wait until the very last potential turn to use it, you could save yourself some time. If anything, I might need to activate Localized Tornado once more, and that's probably it. But we've already established a loop, if you will. So all we do is we're going to keep crashing into that YuGiOh and getting sent face down. And we're just going to keep flipping. At this point, this is, I think, 12 summons, because we're on turn 25. So it's whatever turn you're on to 50. So we have 25 more turns left for turn 50, cut in half. So 12.5. So about 12 summons is what I'm going to get. I don't need to play any more draw cards or anything. If anything, I might need to use a Localized Tornado. Maybe, probably not, though. I'm not sure. This is honestly the earliest I've ever summoned Obelisk, but you should probably expect to get him out between turns 20 and 30. But let's go ahead and flip this bad boy. And at this point, you don't really need to use any draw cards. You don't really need to. It's just, you're going to keep doing this, and you're going to go face down, and that's all you got to do. Localized Tornado, it is their third turn, I believe, or they have 3 cards left in deck, so everything goes back. So great. Now both of you guys have a new deck for the most part. Now, like I said earlier, you don't really want to play anything. Now, if anything, the only card you could probably want to play is maybe Localized Tornado. But let's go ahead and keep doing all that shenanigans. Draw, Mystic Box, flip, and this is a pretty quick farm right now. Like you can do this fairly quickly, maybe like about 10 minutes. You do each one, but it is going to be multiple attempts, since each time you do it, it's going to be 10 to 15. So yeah, it took me about 7, 8, 9 tries, more or less. So yeah, but I do guarantee that it's probably way easier than actually trying to play with him and summoning him consistently. So let's go ahead and keep doing this. And I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just rush to the next plot point. Alright, and that plot point is here. We got Localized Tornado. I might be activating that because I only have 5 more draws. So you can say that's about 10 turns right there. So 10 turns would put me at turn 47. Like I said, I will be using a Localized Tornado just because I got really lucky with that good goblins early. So if anything, I'll probably just maybe I'll set that eventually. But for now, it continues. I'm just letting you know you're probably gonna need your Localized Tornado at some point. So let's go ahead and keep fast forwarding until that point. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. So I'm going to go ahead and set that Localized Tornado just to get that 1 extra summon, probably. That's all you're really going to get. Normally, if you do the first summon pretty slowly and activate whatever Localized Tornado, depending on how many cards you drew, you're probably going to get away with just activating it once. It won't really matter. So let's go ahead and battle, doing the same shenanigans all over again. As you can see, Taya's got 7 cards left in deck. I have 1. You don't really need to wait, to be honest. I'm just going to go ahead and activate this now. See all the cards, they go right back on the deck, and we're at turn 46 right now. But yeah, if you see how it works, it's basically every 2 turns you get a summon. So now we did that. Now we're going to go ahead and flip them again. This is going to give me like 1 or 2 more extra summons. So that 1 summon, and then on 49 I get 1 more summon. So in the end, I think that was pretty much that. We're going to get that those 2 summons right there. So and if you do that constantly, you'll be able to farm for the mat. It is quite tedious. It's quite annoying. But yeah, at this point it is turn 49. The duel will be ending in a draw pretty much no matter what, unless you took some chances earlier and hit their monsters. But for now, I'm just going to keep hitting that YuGiOh. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and let it end in a draw, just in case some of you guys have never seen what a draw looks like in Duel Links. And that would be it. I don't know, it's just a weird sound. It's very neutral. And normally you don't care about the score or anything, but that's pretty much that. Go ahead, have fun. GG, guys. Good luck getting that mat. And that's pretty much it. And if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Duel Link shenanigans. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day, and see you guys.